Just want to make this disclaimer. I will be talking about personal topics during this video regarding changes to my body. One of those changes being change in sex drive. So if you don't want to listen to that, I'll have timestamps down in the description for if you want to skip that specific section. I'll also have timestamps for every chapter in this video. So yeah, I don't like this already. I don't like this already because I get, whenever I'm talking free verse like this, I never know exactly what to say. But I didn't really want to script this video out because I really just wanted to speak from the heart. What has happened to me and why I like it. Why that's a good thing. I should introduce myself. Hi, my name is Faith. I'm a trans woman. I've been transitioning for 3 months now. And yeah, it's been going great. I like to talk about what I've underwent these past 3 months. It's been a roller coaster, to say the least. And the thing about roller coasters is that they're fun. So you enjoy the ride while you have it. Yeah. So what have I done? Well, I have done this. I'm taking some pills here. Now, these are estradiol and spironolactone pills. Now, I'm going to tell you what they do, just in case people don't know. Estradiol tells your body, hey, you know that thing estrogen? We know how to make it. Why don't we just start doing that? And the body takes that signal and it goes, yeah, sure, we'll do that. And that's what that does. Spironolactone is a testosterone suppressant. It tells your body, hey, you know that thing testosterone that we make? We should not make that. I don't think it's very good for us. I don't think we want to do that. Let's stop doing that. And the body just goes, okay, we'll do it. Sure. I mean, you told us to, might as well. It's crazy how you can just tell your body what to do and it will listen and through medication. And one of the big things about medication and why I was initially hesitant to do hormones, period, was this kind of idea that if I started hormones, I would get upset with myself because I would feel like that the only reason I was happy, or the only reason I can be happy, is because of these. And it's kind of like the joke that people make when you take antidepressants and it's like, oh, it's kind of sad that I have to take these pills that make me not sad anymore. That kind of outlook doesn't translate well to this, because what these pills fix for me is this gender dysphoria that I have and a lot of trans women have. I'm not going to say all because fucking listen, I don't need 1,000 arrows on my back. I'm just making this fucking video for the people that are interested, all right? I don't need that kind of shit right now. The thing that I'm trying to absolve with my pills is gender dysphoria, and what that looks like for me is just things that I don't like about my body, that I don't like about my psyche, that I feel needed fixed, and these hormones have helped me do that. And to what extent? A great extent for a lot of things, honestly. It's only in 3 months. Only in 3 months I have seen so many changes, and I want to make it clear that, number one, while everybody's body is different, if you experience gender dysphoria, you will be happier on hormones. I promise you. It is a wonderful thing. Now, there's a misconception that estradiol, as soon as you take it, is just a fucking happy pill. Now, I don't want to say that's the case because it wasn't for me. Now, granted, the first day that I started taking this medication, I felt wonderful. I felt so happy. That was like one of the best moments of my life, was opening that bottle and seeing those blue pills that I've been seeing on the internet for so long and being like, wow, that's crazy. I sound like a drug enthusiast, but like it's true. This is something I've wanted. This is something I've wanted, and I know would change some things about my body and my life and how I wanted to be perceived. And it has done that. It is currently doing that. It's in the process of doing that. It's not all the way. I'm not where I want to be per se, but where I am is pretty good, and where I will be is going to be great, and I know that. But yeah, so I'm not going to sit here and tell you that these are happy pills. They're not happy pills. They are pills that are going to change your brain, and they're going to change your body. Then you'll love yourself a lot. You'll love yourself a great deal. And I feel that's very important for anyone doing what I've been doing, is to understand that you have to learn to love whatever you have right now. Even if you're not on hormones, even if you are on hormones, even if you're on hormones and you're not seeing the results that you want, even if you're on hormones and you are seeing the results that you want, you have to love yourself. You have to love yourself, because it's the only one you've got. And it's beautiful. You are changing your body and your brain to become something that's completely new. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that a beautiful thing? You're like playing alchemy with yourself, man. You're like fucking... The fuck's the guy's name in Full Metal Alchemist? You're like that guy. And it's just so cool. It's this idea of transformation that you see over time. It's a beautiful thing to me. It's like evolution. It's like, not evolution. It's like I meant to say metamorphosis. It's like metamorphosis. You're really... People like to throw the term egg around a lot, but I don't believe... I feel like that's a bit of a reductionist view on what trans women look like, because that assumes as soon as they start transitioning, they're this wonderful chicken. This wonderful chicken, you know? But no, it really is a story of a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. And at some point, you will enter that cocoon. And whether it be later than I did, whether it be sooner than I did, it will change you for the better. You will be happier. Your quality of life will increase. No matter what changes you experience that you may not like, you will experience a better life if you want these pills and you take these pills that I'm taking. Now, there are other ways to take estrogen. I chose the pills just because I have a fear of needles, and I'm not too keen on like the idea of transdermal patches or whatever. Not for me. Just not for me. I also don't like stabbing myself into a syringe. I know I have tattoos, but like I just can't do it to myself. These pills are great. I take 2 of these estradiol pills each day. I take them both in the morning. You put them under your tongue and let them dissolve. I take 2 in the morning. You're supposed to take one in the morning and one at night. I don't. Do whatever your doctor tells you. But they never told me anything specific about when to take them. I hear a lot of people say that you're supposed to take them one in the morning and one at night. I don't do that. The only thing that it really does for me doing that, taking two immediately, is I kind of get a little drowsy during the day. But that's not something I really care about, and it's kind of diminished over time over me taking these pills. I don't really experience it that much anymore. Now I do experience it sometimes, but usually that's that's on days where I don't get great sleep, which is now I'm recording this at 1 in the morning. But yeah, so I take 2 of these estradiol pills per day, and I take 1 of these 50 milligram spironolactone pills a day. Spironolactone, you just take them orally. You just wash it down with water, and it's great. If you don't like pills, do the patches. If you don't like patches, do the syringe. If you don't like the syringe, do the pill. Like, do what makes you comfortable. I do the pills and probably am going to switch to syringes at some point in the future. My partner is going to be a nurse, so they can jab me with needles all they want. They just have to deal with me passing out. So let's talk about what's happened, right? Let's talk about what changes I've experienced and how I felt about them. So 3 months, I've experienced a lot of changes. The first change I've experienced that is very noticeable was my skin. My skin is very soft now. Before I started transitioning, I felt so rough. I felt so oily. Now I kind of feel very smooth, and because of that, because of your skin like smoothing out and getting softer, it also gets drier. So you really have to take care of your skin, especially your face. Please start using moisturizer, for the love of God. It will be your best friend. It will be like you're on fucking Accutane if you've ever taken Accutane. Not to the severe amount that Accutane dries you out, but it will dry you out. Now, you won't have acne, but it's definitely something to look out for is dry skin. Just use moisturizer. I started using moisturizer recently. It's been great. My face feels great. My skin feels great. It's great. The second thing I noticed almost immediately, within, I want to say the first week and a half, was breast development. So my breasts have gained a little bit of firmness within the first week and a half. I started forming breast buds, and what those are, they're small little discs that form right behind your areolas. You'll feel them. You'll be able to kind of like manipulate them and move them around a bit. Those will be there. They are not breast cancer. I'll tell you straight. I am kind of a hypochondriac. As soon as I started feeling them, I was like, what the fuck is this? It's nothing bad. It's just your body learning to change. You will develop these breast buds, and what will happen is that they'll be there for a little bit, and they will kind of grow, and you will kind of feel them. You'll still feel them, but they'll be like, you'll feel this kind of like firmness of these breast buds kind of span out a little bit. I realize I'm just feeling myself a little bit. But yes, your chest will grow. This did not happen while I was on masculinizing puberty. This is new. All of this that has formed on my chest is new. Now, what does that entail? Well, it can entail some growth pains. Growing pains are very common. I experience them. I am currently experiencing them. You can experience very increased sensitivity in the nipples. I know, especially within my first week, within my first 2 weeks, very sensitive right on my nipples, and it comes and goes for me. But you will experience a little bit of sensitivity. You'll experience tenderness in the breasts. You will experience growth within the first 3 months. I promise you that. This is growth right here. And while it's not huge, well, they're not huge. They're not like double D's or anything. I have started wearing a bra because of them, just for sensitivity's sake, and tenderness, because the abrasiveness of like some shirts I wear will bother them, so I have to wear something that's firm, that grips them, that supports them a little bit. So what I've done is I have a couple sports bras that I've been wearing. Nothing super showy, nothing super accentuating anything, because honestly I don't have much to accentuate right now. But yeah, you will experience breast growth within the first 3 months of estrogen, I promise you. Now, one thing that did happen to me that I cannot promise you was within, I want to say, a month and a half of starting hormones, my breasts began to leak fluid. Now, this is not milk. I want you to understand that this is not milk. Okay? So, what is it? Well, it is a side effect of developing breasts. When breasts are developing, they can produce a fluid. This fluid for me is clear and a little sticky. It kind of reminded me of semen. I'm gonna be so fucking honest. Kind of semen-like, little bit. Now, did I produce a lot of it? No. What it would be is every once in a while, if I was wearing loose clothing, I would feel something a little bit moist right on the tip of my nipple. Now, this concerned me greatly, because there's not a lot of info about this online, on Reddit, on wherever. But what I have found is that it's just a normal thing that happens during breast growth sometimes. And you can have it forever. You can have it for a little bit. For me, it only lasted about a month. Around, I want to say 3-4 weeks ago, I stopped being able to do any of that. I stopped being able to produce any fluid from my nipples, because there was a point where I could actually squeeze them, and this fluid would come out from the pores in my nipples. And that was very shocking for me. But it's completely normal. Again, you do not have breast cancer. It's just what happens sometimes, and that's okay. Now, let's talk about libido. All right, let's talk about sex drive. It doesn't exist. No, I'm just kidding. It greatly diminishes, I will say. If you are someone that considers yourself a little bit of hypersexual, you might be fascinated with the news that estrogen and spironolactone lower your libido greatly, and that might turn some people off to that, but what you can do is you can take progesterone later on in your transition, and progesterone helps bring that libido back a little bit, which is something I'm probably going to do, not necessarily for that, but for the fact that progesterone also helps with breast growth and shaping. But yes, your libido will decrease when taking estradiol and spironolactone for the first 3 months. Now, am I saying that you won't be able to have sex? No, I'm not saying that at all. I want to say that I am still able to perform sexual acts, whether that be masturbation or intercourse with myself, my partner, whoever. Not whoever, my partner. But you know what I mean. I'm still, I can still function sexually. It requires a different kind of focus, though, I will say, especially for anything done to yourself, any kind of masturbation or anything like that. It requires a little bit more intent and focus. Random erections will be gone. You'll never have random erections while taking estradiol and spironolactone, and those kind of go away very quickly. At least for me, it was within the first 2 weeks I just stopped. In fact, in the second day that I took estradiol, I remember having no random erections, and that surprised me because I used to have them very frequently. And I'm very happy about that. That's something I'm a little embarrassed and dysphoric about, and I'm glad to see that change. But on back to the topic of masturbation, it requires a lot more focus and intent on, I want to say, like, what you're performing and what you're doing to yourself. I want to say that orgasms for me on estradiol have been the best feeling I've ever felt in my life. I'm going to be so honest. It's wonderful. It definitely feels more intense to have an orgasm on estradiol and spironolactone than it does if you're pre-hormones. It's so wonderful. It's, for me, it's kind of a full body thing. For others, it could be different, but the feeling is very much more pronounced and feels very, I want to say, rare. I want to say that it feels like something you really have never felt before. Like, if you thought like your first orgasm like ever was like wonderful, you have no idea what your first orgasm on estradiol for like after like 2 months has been or will be like. It's truly something to cherish if you're into that thing. Not saying that everyone has to masturbate on estradiol. That's not what I'm trying to put out there, but I'm just saying the changes that I've experienced sexually are very vast and very different compared to what I was used to on a testosterone puberty. And I enjoy them greatly, very greatly. As well as your skin becoming softer and less oily, your hair also becomes less oily and generally just like fairer and easier to work with. That is not to say that you shouldn't wash your hair. Please, for the love of God, keep up with your hair. No one likes a greasy bitch. All right, I'm just gonna throw that out there. I want to talk about what happens to the brain when you're taking estradiol. At least what happened to my brain when I started taking estradiol. I experienced over these last 3 months a distinct shift in how I process my emotions. And that can look different for a lot of people. But generally, for me, what that means is I've been able to cry a lot more about a lot of things. Um, Really, whether it be big or small. I remember at least a month ago, uh, something the something that could have been probably the slightest inconvenience ever in my life caused me to get choked up, and that experience, that feeling of wanting to cry over something so small, so uh, inconsequential, um, made me realize how much I was actually changing going through this transition. And I appreciate it very greatly. Now, that is not to say that you're going to turn into this crybaby when you're on hormones. That could not happen. I'm just saying that it causes you to process your emotions differently. That's all I'm saying. For me, that allowed me to be able to cry a lot more, which is something I've actually greatly valued. Um, One of the things I've hated about myself for the longest time is that I would never cry over anything. So many things have inconvenienced me in my life, and I just couldn't bring myself to just sit down and cry about it. And I've wanted that for so long. I've wanted for so long to just sit and process what I was going through or what I have been through, and do that by letting these emotions out through my eyes, through my voice, through me vocalizing anything. And now that I'm on estrogen, I have cried about a lot of things. I've cried about the smallest dumb bullshit that really ultimately doesn't matter. And I've had some pretty major events that I've cried over. Um, Now, I don't want to get into the greatest detail because you don't need to know everything about my life. And honestly, on this channel, I will reveal probably a lot, probably too much. But I do want you to know that on estrogen, your emotions will be processed differently, and for a lot of times, it looks like crying. And that's okay. You're allowed to cry. Um, it's very nice. It's very cathartic. It was especially cathartic for me, um, to be able to cry for the first time in so long. It has genuinely been like years since I cried, and when I finally did on estrogen, it felt like the best thing ever. I cried for hours. I'll be so honest. I cried for hours, and whether or not I knew it at the time, I was making up for that lost time that I could have been crying earlier in my life. And it's just so powerful to me that I finally gained that ability to let myself express my pain, my struggles, my frustration, my whatever, through this outlet that has been locked for so long behind a steel door. Now I have the key, and that means a lot to me. It might be one of my favorite things. I really just wanted boobs. I'm going to be so honest, but that was a big deal for me. I do want to say that I used to be a lot more angry at a lot of things. And I'm not saying that the feeling of anger is completely gone from my life. That's not true. Um, but I'm happier that I process my emotions through crying and through sadness more than anger within these last 3 months. That has been a great change for me. But yeah, those are my thoughts on 3 months of estrogen, man. It's been a blast. It's been a ride. And I'm happy to go on it. In spite of the circumstances that I'm put into, which I might get into in another video, I might not, but that's not for this video, is it? Yeah, it's been lovely. I've been the happiest I've ever been on these pills, and I can't thank myself enough for actually going through with it, making the Zoom meeting, signing up for Folks Health. I use Folks Health for my meds because I'm bougie like that. Not because it's cheap. Oh no. No. It's not cheap, but it's been beneficial for me because I live in a city and it's discreetly packaged, and I'm not like socially transitioning. I'm not super like socially out. Um um like I don't have my legal name changed. I don't uh my I've talked to this about my parents, and they despise it to death, and I don't bring it up to them, and they don't know anything about this, and we're going to keep it that way, right? I just wanted to put it out there that I've been on this ride for 3 months, and it's been wonderful, and I hope this helps anyone that's looking for any idea of like how it's going to be for you, especially in these first 3 months. I feel like a lot of people don't really get what happens in the early stages or how long things take to work. I feel like that's not very expressed well in trans spaces. So I've been kind of wanting to do that. I've actually been posting daily journals on my Instagram, which you can follow somewhere on the screen or probably down in the description. My breast growth, been posting daily pictures of my breasts, not for pornography, just for education of what it looks like and how long it takes. Because that kind of thing is interesting to me, and I wish I would have had that when I started transitioning, and maybe you would too. If you don't want to see my tits, then don't be on my close friend story. But if you want to be, follow my Instagram. Please, I need more followers. I will see you in the next video.